President Trump is desperate. His entire attention there's one issue on his mind, that's the election. He's has to cover up for the fact that he's personally responsible for killing tens of thousands of Americans. So he was trying very hard to set up military confrontations. It's moving towards martial law. He might even be able to try to cancel the elections, even get to a point where the military command has to decide which side they're on. The man is desperate. He's psychotic. He is in extreme danger of losing his position in the White House. He'll do anything he can to prevent it. Try to throw the election to refuse to accept the vote, turn the election into the kind of farce that you find as I said, in some tin pot dictatorship. That's one possibility. Another possibility is he might just try to call out the military to impose martial law. Well, there were speculations at the time that the purge of the military might be preparation for a plan to try to bring the military in to carry out something which would amount to a military coup. The military so far has been rejecting the proposals from the White House, his current campaign to set up violent confrontations in Democratic-run cities planned right now. What the military would do, we don't know.
Reelected and tries to stay on, claiming some kind of, fraudulent election or something like that. Their loyalty, the oath that they swear, is to the Constitution of the United States. It's not to an individual.
Even some Republicans worried that indeed Donald Trump is trying to figure out how to retain control regardless of the outcome of the November election, which is now under 8 weeks away. They're actually using the word coup to describe the possibility of what Donald Trump may do if indeed he loses to Joe Biden on November 3rd. And Charles Fried is a Harvard Law School professor, still a Republican as far as I know right now. Charles Fried is increasingly worried about Donald Trump's electoral strategy of seemingly encouraging chaos and violence, and is even talking about how this strategy is ripe for Donald Trump to actually send in provocateurs into largely left-leaning protests in order to make them seem more violent, in order to try to justify his reelection, or as a sort of double goal, to claim that things are so crazy we can't really be sure the election was done correctly if he doesn't win. And this is a classic authoritarian provocateur. Donald Trump is willing to do whatever he needs to do to remain in the White House. He's been saying he knows the election will be rigged. It'll be the worst, the most rigged, most fraudulent election in history. He's groundwork not to accept the results of the election. And then who knows what happens. Now, what we're seeing is that there are actually Republicans getting together with progressive organizations to develop a specific plan for responding to Trump rejecting the results of the election. I believe that he will go if he loses, but there is the very real possibility that he will try, and that he could create absolute and total chaos for some time, including possibly violence on the streets. Dangerous in a physical violence sense is if it's close and Trump wins on election night, but starts to say they're trying to take it from me, I need you out there, or loses by a small margin on election night and says it was rigged. I think those two scenarios are the ones that will most likely weaponize, and that's literally what it would be, his supporters with guns to go out on the street.
Doesn't refuse to leave. It remains to be seen how his followers are going to take this. They have already been primed to believe that if he loses, this was an unfair election, and that could easily lead to mass resistance, even to violence in the street.
like everybody is getting their share. With every breath you breathe, with every sound you hear, with every dream you dream that's pulling you down. Nothing's as heavy as an empty heart. Nothing's as heavy as an empty heart. Nothing's as heavy as an empty heart. If you are going, go. If you are staying, stay. I'd rather feel something than nothing at all. Through the fire and smoke, the wreckage and the ropes, and the indifference and dreams going nowhere. Nothing's as heavy as an empty heart. Nothing's as heavy as an empty heart.
Or do you think increasingly America is a polarized country?
Well, it has a choice. It can either go towards more polarization and sort of street warfare, or it can go towards less polarization
Might
and
lead to some kind of civil war.
not if the military has anything to say about it, I expect, because as I have just said, I'll say it again, their oath of loyalty is to the Constitution of the United States, not to an individual. So their role is to preserve the democracy that now exists. And if somebody tries to violate that and set themselves up as an absolute monarch or a dictator, they will have something to say about it. And a number of them have already been saying that. A number of generals have been talking, a number of retired generals have been talking about that.
Dark world, but by and large, are you optimistic about the 21st century?
There's no point in being pessimistic, because if you're really pessimistic, you don't do anything.
Here's a live look at the Rose Garden, where President Trump is unveiling the latest in medical testing technology.
Testing in this country. I'm also incredibly appreciative of private industry's ingenuity and willingness to work with us quickly to develop and distribute those tests. We've had a substantial addition to testing with the authorization of point-of-care tests, especially the Abbott point-of-care test is a test that gives you a result where you're getting care. This is truly
Analysis of subject complete. He is a waste of space. He is not helping. Hell, bring up the MyPillow guy again. Why not? I can still talk when I'm in the box.
Lying about everything, don't matter if it's small or big. Trying to solicit other countries to election rig. Taxes unpaid, net worth not so high. Money laundered, crime after conflicts of interest, like trademarks in China. Sexual harassment, like grabbing vaginas. Spilling intel, putting spies at risk. Obstructing justice. He's a thug, he's a crook, he's a president. Crime after crime. When he's gone, well, the book they will draw at him. Crime after crime. He's insane, narcissistic, can't help himself. Crime after crime. When he falls, well, the cops, they will be waiting. Crime after crime.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails.
If Russia, if China, if someone else offers you information on an opponent, should they accept it or should they call the FBI?
I think you might want to listen.
China should start an investigation into the Biden.
Siding with Putin instead of the CIA, reducing his debt load by demanding lower interest rates, secret servers to hide his quid pro quos, hosting summits at Mar-a-Lago. He's a con man, a crook, that's our president. Crime after crime, pardons dangled to White House aides to break the law. Grammar mangled, he's a grifter, a crook, that's our president. Crime after crime, he's insane, narcissistic, can't help himself. Crime after crime, when he falls, will the cops